Hello, what's up guys? Today I'd like to talk a little bit about backhand, especially single-handed backhand. Today I will give you some tips on how to hit a consistent and powerful one-handed backhand. Many recreational players likes the one-hander because it looks beautiful, right? Why not? I'm not gonna repeat a lot of general tips that everybody knows, like how you take back and your back facing the net, etc. Okay, I will give you 5 golden tips that I personally found the most useful. So let's start with tip number 1. Okay. Tip number 1 is about the footwork. The most important thing of a one-hander is to get to the position. Okay, so let's start with the contact point. So you want to contact the ball roughly here. Okay, not too far from your body because actually that will disengage your core and you'll feel very weak. And of course, not too far behind. So you actually want to hit the ball roughly here, in line with the front foot. And also, because it's a one-hander, you actually have a very small strike zone in terms of the height. I would say it's roughly about this high to be maximum height. So if it's higher, then it's very hard to hit the ball. So the first tip is your footwork. Okay. No matter how you get to the ball, you can get to the ball using some crossover steps, or some shuffle steps, or some adjustment steps, or if the ball is close enough, you don't have to move at all. But your last 2 steps has to be left, right. Okay? I will repeat again. Left, right. Okay. If you're running towards the ball, still left, right. So you have to get to the ball so that the ball is in a perfect contact point. I would like to say when you get to 1, 2 and hit, the ball is probably here. Okay? So no matter where you are, you want to get to that point. Say I'm very far from the ball. I need to go 1, 2. See, the ball is approximately here. If I'm, say, too close, you may have to go back 1, 2. See, the ball is here. All right? Or if you are too much in front and the ball is very high, you might need to back up and then 1, 2. Still, you want to keep the ball in a suitable contact point. To me, that's the number 1 key, right, for a one-handed backhand. Because for forehand or two-handers, you could have some variations, okay, and some leeways. Like you could have like open stance forehand, semi-open, neutral, or closed stance. Sometimes you can even transfer weight, like do a back foot step like that. Right? So there are lots of flexibilities in forehand. But for backhand, except for very special cases, you don't want to hit an open stance backhand. So there's only one stance, which is the closed stance. Okay? So you have to get to the correct position, and you have to do this 1, 2. Okay? So to me, that's the most important tip for one-handed backhand. Okay, if you only take 1 tip from this video, that's it. Okay, practice a lot. Okay, with all kinds of different balls, different spin, different height, different speed. Always try to find that 1, 2, boom, the perfect contact point. Now let's talk about the second tip. The second tip is about the weight distribution on your legs. Okay, so I said we need a step called 1, 2. Right. So the first thing you gotta do is load your non-dominant leg, which is the left leg for me. Right. So when you do the 1, put almost all the weight on your outer leg. Then you need, when you hit, you actually need to put the weight on all of your front leg. And through hit, you actually can straighten up your front leg. So basically, all the weight needs to transfer from the back leg to your front leg, back leg to your front leg. Right? So that will give you the weight transfer and consistency and stability of your shot.
Now in this shot, please note how when I run towards the ball, I would first put the weight on my left leg, and then all the weight is transferred to my front leg.
Tip number 3. Tip number 3 is about your left foot, or for right-hander, okay? It's about your non-dominant foot. So basically, when you do this 1, 2, and you transfer your weight to your front foot, you want to pivot your left foot around the big toe like that, okay? I'll do it in this angle. So basically, 1, 2, and then when I push forward, I pivot this foot around my big toe like this, okay? So basically, what it does is force me to rotate my hip. Okay. So instead of doing a linear weight transfer from here to here, see, this is a linear transfer of weight, I want to do a rotational transfer of weight. Rotational transfer of weight. And that I found to be very crucial for you to have a very smooth motion. Okay, tip number 4. Tip number 4 is also a very special tip. This is about the thumb on your non-dominant hand, which is the left hand for me. Okay. So basically, remember when we transfer all the way to the front leg and we pivot, so you actually feel some stretch on your arm, right arm, right? So many people will hit the ball by releasing too early, okay? So you want to hold on just one split second so you feel the full stretch of your shoulder before you release. But what you can achieve even better is actually there is a subtle more stretch, okay, which can be triggered by your left thumb. So I'll do it in this angle. So just before, when I want to let it go, instead of letting it go, I use my right thumb to push the racket down and back even further. So just for one split second. So I'm turning and I feel stretch, but I use my thumb, the non-dominant hand, to push my racket down even further. Like that. So when I want to hit, like that. So actually, I have a subtle pushing down using my thumb like this. So whenever I want to hit the ball, instead of letting go and hit the ball, I press really hard using my thumb. That way, I achieve 2 goals. One is I do not let go too early, okay? And second, I even stretch the forearm even further, okay? Forearm and shoulder. So basically, we are pronating the right arm and supinating the right arm, okay? So that's tip number 4, very powerful. So when you do that, when you rotate your hip and put the weight to the front leg At the same time, you press down with your left thumb, you will feel a tremendous stretch, okay, all the way. And then you let go, right? You will feel a lot of power. Okay, tip number 5. Tip number 5 is about the right thumb, okay? So after you let go, after you hit the ball, you want to push the racket handle really hard using your right thumb, okay? So see, push really hard, okay? Push it using your thumb. I feel that my thumb is using a lot of strength. And notice that you are not, I'm facing this way, do not push your thumb towards across your body. Press your thumb away from your body, okay? Press your thumb away from your body, okay, really hard. So left thumb push down, then when you let go, push your thumb away from your body, away from your body. So that will give you what? That will give you racket head speed, because you do want racket head speed, okay? It's a little bit like throwing a frisbee, right? When you throw a frisbee, you know, you need to press at the last moment. You need to press your hands really hard to throw it, right? So basically, the right thumb did that throwing motion, right? So that's all the 5 tips for you guys, and I found them very useful. But I'm gonna tell you, man, you have to practice a lot, okay? Like I said in the beginning, one-hander is really hard. The most difficult part is in tip number 1, get to the right position, okay? If I get to the right position, everything will be beautiful. If I don't, I'm done. All right, thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.